Walt Disney and his story team were prolific storytellers. They honed their stories to perfection, exploring them endlessly when they were in pre-production, trying out characters and alternate versions of events until Walt's renowned story sense was 100% satisfied. Countless deleted and never finished sequences lie waiting to be rediscovered in the Disney Animation Research Library. Many of these sequences stand on their own as excellent examples of storytelling. 3 lost sequences, recently discovered in the Disney Animation Research Library, help shed some light on Walt's creative process and the lengths he and his artists were willing to go to tell the perfect story. But in the end, it was Walt Disney who made the tough decisions about which scenes stayed in Pinocchio and which ones were left out. From the end of 1937 until January 1939, Walt Disney and his story team developed Sequence 1-4, also known as The Story of the Grandfather Tree. All that remains of the story of the Grandfather Tree are a handful of notes from the story meetings, a brief synopsis, a storyboard that leads up to Geppetto's telling of the story, and 7 model sheets of suggestions for characters. But from these fragments, we can get an idea of what Walt had in mind. After Geppetto has extinguished Pinocchio's burning finger, Geppetto puts Pinocchio to bed, warning him he must never play with fire because he is made of wood. As Pinocchio struggles with the idea that he is different from Geppetto, Geppetto tells him he should be proud because his grandfather was a noble pine tree. Geppetto tells the story of Pinocchio's grandfather, the monarch of the forest. The story is seen through Pinocchio's childish imagination. Geppetto's face becomes the face of the grandfather tree.
He stands up there on the mountain top, and for 100 years he stood. His giant trunk to the sky it climbs, a mighty man of wood. The little birds, they visit him, bring birds from far, also near.
In Pinocchio's imagination, the birds are all made of wood, like birds that Geppetto might have carved.
Their nests they build in his cozy limbs and practice songs of cheer. Your grandpa, he watches over them when storms are in the sky. He folds his branches round his friends and keeps them warm and dry. When the mighty thunder shakes the earth, by golly, it's grand to see. He bares his chest to the lightning flash and says, "Come on, strike me."
A bolt of lightning strikes him in the rear end, splitting his bark like the seat of his pants. Looking around to see if anyone is watching, he takes 2 twigs growing behind him and ties them together like apron strings.
There, in the midst of 1,000,000 trees, with a mountain for a throne, strong and tall and brave and kind, like a king, he stands alone.
The monarch of the forest begins to fade away, and in its place, we see Geppetto finishing his story as Pinocchio lies in his bed, almost asleep.